there we go. Greetings and welcome. My name is Jake Rayson. I am a wildlife and food forest garden designer, and this is a quick back into the whole live stream habit. It's much easier for me to do this actually from office at the moment because I can't live stream from my mobile because I don't have enough followers. So today I wanted to talk about the a woodland garden. I have a client over in Poppet Sands near Cardigan, and this is the bed here. And it has a camellia. Oh, I suppose to set a thing up. There's a camellia at the top right there, which you can see. And yes, that's going to be keeping that. I've kind of just taken off some of the lower branches, and then I'm keeping the ferns down here. There's a hart's tongue fern. I am going to learn more about ferns, fern ID, but I want to keep all those ferns down there and keep a bit of the ivy down here as well. And I've cleared the bed. There was a lamium, like a, what do you call it? Like a mint, a lamiacea. It's a kind of it's an ornamental mint, member of the mint family. Spreads like crazy, like mints. And I'm kind of, it's a bit scraggy. A couple of heathers in there as well, which are really in a poor state. So they've come out. So it's this space at the front here, which I will be using. I'm just going to try. It'd be interesting actually to see if this is going to work or not. Live on air. I'm just going to try a highlight point. Oh, there we go. Not very good though. You can see the highlight pointer that I've got here. Yes, so this bed down here, that's really rubbish. This bed down here, I'm going to be using that. I'm going to be putting some plants in there. And it's always good to have a look to take photographs of the site as well when you're designing. I'm there quite a bit anyway, but it's always good to take measurements but also photographs so you can see what's there. And it's rocky. There's really good soil, but it's quite rocky. Rockery has been made. So the basic idea is to put this is kind of wildlife food forest garden, because I am a wildlife food forest garden designer, and so the basic idea is to put in edibles and herbs and native plants as well. So the client wants rhubarb, so I'm putting the rhubarb in the soil's kind of richer and deeper at the back. So I'm putting rhubarb up here. And at the front, I'm putting in possibly three, but probably two blueberries. Now, blueberries are actually a very ornamental plant as well. Beautiful white flowers and little bell-shaped flowers. And they've got lovely foliage. And if they like a spot, they'll kind of bush up. And you get different sizes from about just over 1/2 metre to 1.5 metres, 2 metres. And yes, they're just like a beautiful edible plant as well. Will do well here because I think it's quite acidic soil, and it's woodland, and they're just so they should fit really well. So I think possibly one here and then one at the top here, maybe another one if I can squeeze one in, depending upon the cultivar that I get. And then the other one was to get so rhubarb and blueberry as a main kind of components for the eating side of it. And then if I just swap over to the CAD, and I've done a CAD's not particularly accurate, but it's more just to get a feel for the sizes. And the other ones that I want to put in was sweet woodruff as a ground cover plant, so that'd be in amongst the stones. And yes, I love sweet woodruff. It's quite it will spread, which is good, and that will spread underneath the blueberries. And I want to put some sweet Sicily in at the back. And then going back, blueberry, rhubarb, and then hemp agrimony, and possibly wild angelica. I've grown hemp agrimony, put in a couple of gardens, and that does really well. And that kind of fills out space. Wild angelica, it's a biennial more than a perennial, but I'll be interested to see it. I actually haven't grown it. I think I've started off seedlings and stuff, but I haven't really kind of worked with it before. So something like that. So you can get more height at the back. And as you can see from the photograph, that'll just kind of shade, that will put a bit of height and hide the fence and just kind of hide the back bit a bit more. So you've got more of a, what's around the corner. So there's a path going up and what's around the corner. So that's the idea. So lower stuff at the front, higher stuff at the back, because you want to just kind of keep that fence, the path going at the back garden, keep that kind of separate, some sort of mystery there. So those are the ideas for that. Now, when I'm talking about like wildlife plants, What I generally do, I've got a list. I've made my own list, Garden Wild spreadsheet, which is here. There's about 100 plants, and yeah, I'm just trying out different ideas, getting the kind of basic kind of information about them, but then looking at more like for possibilities. So it's kind of interesting to look through and not treat it as gospel, not to treat it as though this is the plant that, you know, I must have this one and this one will work here, but more as much about getting ideas together. So that's available free online. You can look at this Garden Wild spreadsheet. And then for each of my clients, I create a spreadsheet, and this is one I've just started to put together for this stage of the garden. And this will have different plants in there. So I've got the blueberry and the rhubarb, and I'm putting an aronia bush in another spot as well. But what I always kind of recommend doing, if you can afford it, the budget's there, then buy locally. Now, the most local wildflower shop to me is over in Haverfordwest, which is probably, well, yeah, it's fairly local, not that local, 50-minute drive. This is the Wildflower Nursery. And then the next closest one, which are brilliant, this is the Celtic Wildflowers. And they've just got so much more stuff. They've got grasses and sedges, and they do trees, and they've got ferns and climbers in, and it's great. It's really exciting. Just spend hours hours and hours looking at all the different plants. But I really recommend start local, and then there are some herbs that I want to get as well. So I'll just hop back over. So that's the Woodland Bed, and then at the front of the house, this is just some idea. I'm not actually going with this. There's a steep step at the front, and it's steeply sloping, and then they want to have some. I'm going probably to go without oregano and thyme and sage, because that possibly gets enough light. I think it might be a bit too shady. I'll have a think and have a look at it. And then they're kind of bushy. That's bushy. Bushy herbs, shrubby herbs that will fit into that particular spot. And then so that's where was I? Oh yes, that's for the herbs. Norfolk herbs are really good, and they do a fair few natives as well. If you can't get them from elsewhere, and they've been very good. Again, they're over in Norfolk, the other side of the country. So, but they're really good suppliers, so I like them. And then I was trying out Plant Wild, who I haven't used before, but they've got a whole woodland section, so it's interesting to look through there. And then British Wildflower Plants, who do a whole load. They're where are they? I think they might be in Norfolk, East Anglia way. Again, plug plants, kind of much cheaper, but yeah, I'd rather buy local than not. So check out where your local wildflower nursery is first of all. And then for the edible stuff, it depends. Again, I'll try and buy it from a local nursery, because an awful lot of the stuff that is in a local nursery doesn't actually isn't grown locally. But if you can get it grown locally, and if I can't get anything, I do like for the more exotic stuff is Bernkoos nurseries. I'll say exotic, like aronia bushes and blueberry bushes. They're a really good supply. They're quite pricey, but they're really good quality. And there we go. So that's how I'm kind of approaching it. Get some ideas and then try them out and say, well, is there enough light? What are the conditions like? Is there enough soil? How will the different plants grow together? And just try things out. And I think it's always important, just to do it rather than to worry too much, get too hung up on getting it absolutely perfectly right. Much better to actually create the garden first of all and get the plants in the ground. And using natives where you can, but in a situation like this where the client wants edibles and herbs, and then I'm putting some natives in too. So I've got a few more ideas, soapwort and other bits and pieces that I want to put in. But I'll put that together now, and then I'm going to make that spreadsheet and then sort it out with the client, get some plants ordered in. Okay, so I hope that's interesting, and I might do another one. another live stream about the primary school, because I've got I'll do that later. Okay, thanks for watching. See you again soon. Don't forget, subscribe. That was it. And there we have it. Cheers, bye.